gave him some exposure on a global scale. Once again, DJ took the leap, and in his first season with Fnatic, he placed top 4 at the International 6. DJ has been on the top of his game for the last 2 years. Now, he heads to his 3rd international in a row, looking to claim his first title outside of Asia. And thus is the story of Team Fnatic, a team that takes risks. Some of those pay off, some of them don't. People have mocked Fnatic this season, believing that the team has no chance for success. After all, they did attend 3 DPC events after forming, including 2 majors, and they lost every single game, 6 of their matches at those events, finishing rock bottom in all 3. But despite all of that, the team has come together in the end. They've laughed at EE, they've laughed at Fnatic, and they all thought that this team could never succeed. But here we are, at the biggest tournament in history, with Fnatic right where they belong. Once again, they are showing the world that they are the best players in the game, and the best the game has to offer. Fnatic, they're ready for their last laugh at this year's International 8. The International is coming. The world's best Dota 2 teams fighting for their chance to be forever remembered as the greatest players of all time. Each team and player bringing with them a unique story to share. This is the International Lowdown, and this is the story of evil geniuses. America. Throughout Dota 2's history, there have been countless North American teams, but there has only ever been one team that has always been synonymous with North American pride. And for better or worse, this has always been the Evil Geniuses. It doesn't matter how many European, CIS, or any other players are on the team, Evil Geniuses is always American. EG carries the weight of an entire region on their backs. They are not just an American team. In the eyes of the world, they are the North American scene at large. When EG is strong, NA is strong. When they falter, the entire world demands that they get one less slot for TI. No, things have not always been sunshine and butterflies, because EG is thought of as a metaphor for a region rather than a regular team. And because of that, they often get it the worst from the community at large. Now, don't get me wrong, when EG is winning, they are heavily praised. But no team in Dota gets it worse than EG when they are losing. And this year, well, they were losing. EG, the beacon of hope for North America, had a pretty hard season, only making it to 1 grand final in the entire DPC. However, if there is one team that has shown that they can roll with the punches, deal with the flame, and come out as still one of the greatest teams in the world, it has always been Evil Geniuses. And right after winning the regional qualifier for TI8, it is time once again for EG to show the world why they are one of the most iconic teams in Dota's history. But they wouldn't have got there without a little bit of help from some powerful new allies. It is impossible to talk about EG without first talking about Arteezy. Artur is one of the most beloved players in all of Dota 2. This hard worker has always been striving for his goals and is fondly thought of by the community at large as one of the boys. Starting his career at a young age and rising through the North American leaderboards like a rocket, Arteezy spammed mid and was quickly recognized as one of the best mid players in the world. When his team Speed Gaming needed an emergency stand-in at MLG Columbus 2013, Arteezy answered that call, and the relatively unknown player went head-to-head against the greatest mids in the world. And, well, he absolutely destroyed him. He created a stack with some of his good friends that would later become the first ever good iteration of EG. Arteezy is a man who has never taken a break since he started, and he has always lusted for that Aegis. Even if that means leaving EG out of the blue once in a while to join forces with Team Secret in hopes of increasing his chances at international success. This was never done out of spite. Arteezy has made it perfectly clear time and time again that he does what he does because he just wants to be the best that he can be. However, he still lives in the shadow of the one time he was not on EG, which was unfortunately the one time that they actually won the International. But he has never given up. With the support of the entire community cheering him on, both in his stream and in the crowded events, fans around the world just want to watch their boy Artur win this year's TI. One member of the team who has won a TI, though, is Sumail, who stepped up to the spotlight as an unlikely replacement for Arteezy in 2015, with the world's currently best mid when he left for Secret. When Arteezy left, EG looked like they were in some serious trouble, but Sumail would stun the world at his first major competition, DAC, widely considered to be the Chinese International. When EG picked up Sumail, he was an innocent 15-year-old Pakistani kid who had just moved to the US, but who had a quenchless thirst for some Dota. Despite his age and relatively unknown status, EG chose him as their mid, and he delivered more than anyone has ever delivered before. At DIC, Sumail was thought of to be the weak link in Evil Geniuses, and EG's enemies committed 2 or 3 players at once to ruin him in his mid lane. Sure, Sumail got killed a lot, but he was resilient, and his now iconic Storm Spirit for the first half of the game, despite being killed relentlessly in the second half of the game, would come back and destroy everybody like they were puppets. Sumail won that tournament almost single-handedly for Evil Geniuses, and his Storm Spirit became the stuff of legends. A few months later, that Storm Spirit would result in him lifting the Aegis of the Champions at TI8, the youngest player to ever do so. What were you doing when you were 16? Because Sumail, he was buying his mom a house. Since then, Sumail has grown up a lot, trading his cockiness for confidence as he continues on his path to become the world's greatest. Haters love to watch the great falter, but just like a DAC, you can try to tear down the king, but in the end, he always comes back, leaving the world at large quite satisfied. The Danish prodigy Crit is one of the best supports in Dota 2's history. Starting out in the local Danish pro scene for several years, Crit soon migrated to NEL in search of a challenge, which is an in-house league for high MMR players and acted as a breeding ground for new pro talent in the North American scene. In his early years, Crit admitted that he tended to lose more than he won, but this ability to convert his losses into wisdom that he could learn from transitioned him into a much better player in the end. Eventually, Crit would get picked up as the support for Team Monkey Business, which would later turn into the illustrious Team OG. Crit was the backbone of many OG victories, especially in their multi-major run in the TI8 season. He became renowned as the greatest Position 4 player in the world. But Crit is a man who always wants to grow and always wants to conquer new ground. So when EG offered him the chance to captain his very own team, he left what many would consider the best team in the world during one of their best times to build a team of his very own. Now back to support with a wealth of experience gained from his captaincy, Crit is stronger than ever and ready to prove to the world that he still hasn't lost his touch. The captain of Evil Geniuses this TI is a fresh face on the roster, but a veteran on the circuit, Fly. After being second in command of North American team Complexity at the International 5, Fly wanted to form a team with him at the helm. He joined forces with former Fnatic teammate and longtime friend No-Tail to form Monkey Business, which would later become the esteemed OG, a multi-major winning team who won 4 out of the 5 Valve majors before the DPC. This was mostly due to Fly's incredible drafting genius and his shot calling in the game. He took his team from the very bottom right to the very top of the scene. When it came to majors, OG were virtually untouchable, and Fly cemented himself as the world-class captain that he always knew he could be. However, he shocked the world by leaving the team that he himself created to join Evil Geniuses. EG, they were on the ropes, and they needed somebody who could provide some strong leadership, and Fly was the ideal candidate for that job. Under intense scrutiny, Fly steered the EG ship away from danger and lifted the dark cloud that had been haunting the team for some time. EG were liberated, and with Sumail back in the mid, Crit back in his position 4, and Fly now at the helm, the NA Giants qualified for the International 8. Fly with the light, and with the players at his disposal and his tactical brilliance, he is on the verge of bringing a dawn of a new age to evil geniuses. And finally, we come to S4, the soft-spoken and humble Swede who is a living legend around the world. After winning the International 3 for his team Alliance with the $1 Million Dream Coil, one of the most iconic moments in Dota 2's history, S4 prevented 3 of his enemies from returning to defend their base with milliseconds left to spare, allowing his team to destroy their throne and win the International. For the rest of Alliance, this was their prime. But for S4, he continued to evolve, and he continued to strive for even more perfection. After making a name for himself as a mid player for Alliance and later a star-studded team secret member, S4 made a bold move to master a brand new role, the offlane. And master it he did, in little more than a month. To master one role at that kind of level is inspirational, but to master 2 while remaining one of the best players in both of those roles? Pretty unthinkable. But for S4, anything seems to be possible. Now terrifying players on a new continent, S4's recent addition to the EG roster was a master stroke, and he strives to become the first player in history to win 2 internationals. And that is the story of Team Evil Geniuses, NA Dota's heroes. Now, I know what you're thinking. An Israeli, a Canadian, a Swede, a Dane, and a Pakistani-born American. How is this an NA team? Well, isn't that the greatness of America, of esports in general? Anybody can be NA if they really want to. Evil Geniuses is a team that fights for their glory, their liberty, and their winnings, no matter who you are or where you're from. EG will take your young, your Europeans to play for our screaming masses. And with the International 8 being in Vancouver, our TZ's hometown, the team feels right at home. And we're ready to see some NA action at the International 8. The International is coming. The world's best Dota 2 teams fighting for their chance to be forever remembered as the greatest players of all time. Each team and player bringing with them a unique story to share. This is the International Lowdown, and this is the story of PSG LGD. From the ashes. Oftentimes in the volatile world of esports, teams can just implode, cease to be. It's not that rare. After all, many teams are created on pretty shaky foundations, formed hours before roster locks by 5 players in a desperate play for the ages. Organizations exist right because of this, to provide stability for these teams. But what happens when the organization itself implodes? Well, you got yourself a situation that few can recover from. Such was the case for LGD. Never missing a single international, LGD gaming has been a staple of the Chinese scene for nearly a decade and has housed some of the world's best. But after TI7's 4th place, things began to go downhill pretty fast. For months, the team saw little to no success in the Dota Pro circuit, and time was starting to become of the essence. By December of 2018, the team publicly imploded, calling for team reform and even going so far as to ask fans to email them suggestions on who they could possibly think of for replacements. In the eyes of the world, LGD was about as dead as could possibly be. But from those ashes of the all but defunct squad, new talent arrived not only to make this team competitive again, but sent them soaring over all the others like a phoenix, ending their season as the 3rd best team in the entire world. If that ain't a comeback story, I don't know what is. Comprised of some of the youngest players attending this year's International and sponsored by a French soccer club, PSG LGD's return from the brink of collapse is a tale told in the blood of their enemies over a season of creativity and innovation the likes of which we have never seen before in Dota 2, showing no signs of stopping on their way to the International 8. And while many of the players on LGD are new to the organization, one player that they have heavily invested in is Ame. Originally on CDEC Youth along with XZ and Victoria, his entire squad was taken up by LGD, brought in as fresh meat to be molded by their older teammates. Originally being brought in to replace the dominating aggressive, Ame had pretty big shoes to fill. But surprisingly, he was able to, acting as a fine replacement and growing in skill over 8 months with the team. While LGD was disappointed with their old squad, the new squad saw results much on the back of Ame. And only 1 year after joining, he netted that team an PC really began, he was the longest standing player in LGD gaming, being with the team for over 3 years. Third place at TI8 and fourth at TI8 maybe has transformed from a no-name to a real big-timer. Recently flirting with changing his name to Samus, the Greek brother of death, there is no maybe about it. This kid is getting ready to win himself an international. One of the more unique histories for a Dota player, Chalice got much of his experience competing in the national team tournaments like WESG and the ROG Masters. These tournaments are pretty strange because players join teams based on nationality and aren't actually comprised of true Dota 2 teams. Yet Chalice attended many of these events, rubbing shoulders with big-name pros and creating very lasting impressions, which got him suggested for LGD's new squad. Perhaps remembered by the pros, perhaps suggested via the fan email. I'm not really sure how Chalice got on LGD, but they sure are happy that he did, as he is one of the best playmakers they have on the team. After all, if you watch his Underlord play at DAC, you can see why Chalice has become top shelf. The only player on the team who's not Chinese, the Malaysian X-Nova, rose to fame during his time for Warriors Gaming Unity in 2016. A Malaysian team who managed to place top 8 at the Boston Major. A positive and gentle soul in interviews, he was flamed by the community at large since he had to replace huge names on LGD. But he took that criticism and he used it as motivation. To quote, "You can't avoid these sort of people from flaming or blaming you. You just need to live with it. I take the negative compliments and comments as room for improvement so that I am constantly motivated to learn and play better for the next game." That positive attitude paid off, and X-Nova has become the star player on the team. His deadly witch doctor plays and unique style make him now a pleasure to watch for fans around the world. The oldest player on the team, FY, was part of the original Vici Gaming when it was formed back in 2012. And was part of various iterations of VG all the way up until the start of the DPC in September 2017. Known as the best Rubik player in the world, FY makes even the most accomplished pro players look like jokes in his games, stealing their spells and wrecking their teams. After spending 6 years with Vici Gaming, FY left because he felt that he wanted to diversify, changing his roles and teams while trying to grow as a player himself. After flirting with the offlane position, FY has returned to his iconic support position, much to the benefit of LGD and much to the horror of enemy pro players around the world. FY has nothing left to prove, but he continues to excel where other veterans of his era have already thrown in the towel. And he plans to use these flashy plays this year to finally win himself an international. LGD. A team that was on the brink of destruction, reformed to become the highest ranked Chinese team in the entire pro circuit. LGD has shown that never giving up can really pay off in the end. Making a play for the biggest tournament in the world, this squad continues their tradition of never missing a single international. Born from the ashes, the fire of LGD, she still burns bright, showing no signs of dwindling before the International 8.
Good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Captain Kirk.
You see it. Ooh.
This'll come in handy.
I assume my audio is not going out, but if it is, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 8th installment of the International. It's bigger, better every year, and today, this year, is no exception. 24 countries represented, $24 million and a little over, and of course 18 teams in attendance as they prepare. Rather chill at the moment, but still, there is an air of tension amongst the players as, of course, this is what they play for. This is what their entire year leads up to every single time. Finding out how the teams fare. Fnatic and Liquid, as you can see on your screens, will be the very first that you get to enjoy, and I'm your host, Alex Machine Richardson. Yes, the desk looks a little smaller than expected, and yes, it is just me, but I promise this is going to be a lot of fun. So what's going to be going down? Backstage, watching all the games and making sure you don't miss the very best bits, be it through replays or through myself taking you there, as we're going to be jumping into every single stream at the very best bits. Now, to quickly get some housekeeping out of the way, if you want to find us on social media, please do not hesitate to do so. It's nice and easy. You can head over to Twitter or Instagram. I believe it's just /Dota on Twitter, and Dota2TI for all the pretty pictures of your favorite players, teams, and the Aegis. Kind of get into any of that nitty-gritty, the International. Though it starts slow, opportunity to see all of your face up on Twitter or Instagram with who you though is going to be getting ready. In fact, it's our adventure with none other than Team Liquid, and we get to find out if this game Let's jump in.
You really got to pick a hero. You got 10 seconds. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine. Come on, Dire Team. Pick it good.
Earth Shaker.
Uh, 10 seconds to pick your hero, you moron. You better pick your hero. 5 seconds. Radiant Team pick.
Crystal Maiden.
Whew, Radiant Team banned.
Gyro Kata.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. Yeah, 5 seconds left now.
Hello?
Hello? Are we in?
Hello?
I think we're good.
Hello?
I hear you.
Look, I'm telling you, Gabe, adding caster audio as a $40 million stretch goal isn't going to go down well with the community. Alright, thank
We're
you.
good.
Oh, live!
I think we're good.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello!
We got a reaction?
Yeah,
reaction?
we're in. We're
good.
in.
Okay.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International 2018. It is the group stages. I'm OD Pixel, I'm here with Fogged, and we are getting ready for, I'd say, there's 4 games going on, but let's be honest, this is the game that you want to... This is the game you want to be watching. It's Liquid versus Fnatic. And as you can see, we are well into the draft, and already, as expected, it's the International 2018. It's the International, so we're going to see people picking heroes that we don't see before. We've got a gyrocopter. This hero has been in the dumpster, and Fnatic come out, they pick it second. To be fair, this isn't surprising. Fnatic picked Terrorblade, who's also arguably in the dumpster, and they win with it. But they've done it early. They picked a Gyro second pick, Fogged.
This is the meta-defining, opening. We've had these 4 games going on at the same time. Of course, people have been talking about Crystal Maiden for a while. Shaker's been this hero that's been creeping forward. But yeah, we get this Gyro, and oh my. These teams are not going to slow down. Brood right at the start versus IO Gyro. That is not a good matchup for either of these heroes at the moment.
No. Maybe when Flat Cannon was in a bit of a better place, because Flat Cannon has pretty much been the spell that's gone boo 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 boo.
Yeah, I mean, the hero just going to run over these 2 heroes in laning phase. Your AoE is very lackluster at the start with these 2 versus Brood. And I mean, Brood with CM Aura, you've got a Shaker. These 2 heroes are going to be moving around trying to enable the Brood as much as possible too. So Fnatic, they need to start with solutions already for the Brood.
There we go. So, as we were talking about before the day, we said there might be a chance we're going to see some teams just try and end the game in like 15 minutes. And this is Liquid turning up and saying, we got a lot of games to play, and we're going to try and run you guys over. Because Fnatic, as we know, they're normally a team that likes to sort of chill out, keep it going, keep it late. Liquid, by the looks of it, with these first 3 picks, are going to make sure that they just crush the start.
I mean, they've got GH on his Shaker, right? That's one of the big ones. We haven't, of course, seen him playing it in too long, because we haven't seen these teams play in like 2 months. Fnatic, of course, we saw them play at Summit, right? And it was all about the Universe Tiny, I believe, in a lot of their games. I don't know. I wouldn't be too shocked if we see that one get picked up, because it can actually be a way to deal with the Brood. If not, maybe they can go for these other solutions. We could see maybe the Legion. That's a little bit of a weird one, but...
I think, Tiny would be beautiful.
Tiny looks great.
He was absolutely rocking the Tiny back at the Summit. Obviously, a very sort of different style of the tournament, but regardless, this hero is absolutely a hero that we are going to be seeing at TI.
It lets them play really fast pace.
Yeah.
Like, if they've got the IO Gyro, IO Tiny, IO can actually choose where he wants to make moves around. I'm pretty excited already. We've got game 1 for us of TI8, and we've got an IO already picked up with the Gyro, and his DJ probably going to be playing that IO, and we've seen ridiculous things come out from him. Of course, like that IO Morphling we saw back in, which one was that, Birmingham? One of those tournaments.
That was
where like they throne raced. Remember the IO Morphling, NV plus DJ, the crazy
situation? The classic one. That was back then in ESL Birmingham.
Yeah.
Here we go, Pugna. So as we said, they want to end the game quickly. Bam. A Pugna is picked up, and not really a better hero to end the game quickly in terms of just damage that you can do to towers and pushing potential very early on. Very little items required. This hero, he offers it all if you want to end the game in 20 minutes.
It's one of my favorite heroes in general to pair with her Shaker, because you're always going to be able to get this decent lane. You're going to be able to fissure your wave back, you get a decent start as Pugna, and that's where you thrive. You get your level 2, your level 3, you start spamming your blast on the enemy carry, you can start putting a lot of pressure on, and also Crystal Maiden Aura thrown on top of that one. Yeah, can definitely be quite lovely. And I mean, Pugna is one of those heroes that people have been talking about for a while that just keeps getting these little buffs and buffs and buffs, and just seems to be such a powerhouse.
Let's see what Fnatic want to do in response to this. Are we going to see that Tiny?
Do we get the Tiny? Do we get some outside the box? The Wraith King people are raving about, the offlane Wraith King.
Can you get away with the offlane Wraith King when you see this sort of draft?
I don't know.
It's going to end this quick.
I don't think so. They do
it's
the Tiny. That's what we thought.
We knew it. So the Tiny comes out.
The concern for me for Fnatic right now still would be that they don't have any way to deep push. It's like the IO Spirits, Gyrocopter is not really that hero that you want to be there for deep pushing. You want to take the fight around the Gyro with the call down around defending towers, but they don't have a way to slow down the push that's coming out.
I was going to say, is it too fast a pace of a game to get Arbed on something like a Tinker? Does that just get run over, or can that sort of be the deep push global hero that you're talking about?
Tinker versus Pugna, though.
Okay, you're right. I mean,
a lot of the heroes,
you can't do it against.
It just becomes pretty miserable to play versus.
So we're not looking for an int hero. What are we looking for Arbed then?
I'm trying to think what I've been seeing, like the pattern of him, especially at least in the pubs.
I mean, can he just go for something like a DK, something boring, something safe?
Like DK Gyro, Bane, Titan.
Because they also, I mean, I guess Tiny's good for towers, but they themselves don't really have the best sort of tower hitters at the moment. Or maybe just something else to help take. They have to. I mean, could they just get Arbed on his Ember Spirit and go for the Battle Fury build against the Brood? Or is that too risky again because you are going to
that takes time.
Run over?
I think they can just still get run over.
But the global pickup potentials are nice. You know, getting around the map with the Ember and the IO Gyro. You know, you have a lot of.
They've got a lot of activeness. Like that would make them being quite active as long as they don't just get dominated in the laning phase.
And you know, I'll say they do actually still ban.
Oh, it could be the tiny mid because the one thing I want Fnatic to do is at least have 2 ways to solve the Brood. 2 lanes that they can have a hero go against this hero.
I mean, one of the heroes that we have actually seen do well against the Brood, sort of to surprise a lot of people. I feel in a lot of lanes. Monkey King.
Yeah, I thought that's the one you were going to say.
This is the hero that, on paper, it feels like Brood's going to run over this hero, but the reality of it, you know, with the nurse to Brood, the fact that she hasn't got quite as insane movement speed, you do get that Jingle Mastery stacked up, and bam, you clear out the spiders with a good boundless strike, and you pretty much bully Brood out till she has to regen to get back in.
Yeah, she got so strong because she's very good against spell nukes because the magic resistance on the spiders, but Monkey King's physical. So
I'd be interested to see if that's something that they might think about.
What about the Kunkka? Kunkka was banned. Okay, just kidding. Okay. Liquid did take that one out.
Banned. But as you said, Tiny could go mid. They could even put the Gyro IO mid.
Yeah, they it's just about solving the Brood problem, at least in the start, so you don't just get run over that fast.
I mean, maybe it's Envy. He's going to pick a Terrorblade. We don't know. But, so it is what you said.
Tiny mid.
It is Tiny mid.
Enigma.
Yeah. Okay. And then the Spectre. So Liquid's sort of coming in with some late game reinforcement. But also a way to sort of, you know, you're going to have this very sort of active Matuma man playing very aggressive. If Miracle wants to pop him to join him for a kill, now he can. And a Miracle Spectre, I feel it's been quite a long time since we've seen a Miracle Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I haven't. I mean, of course, we haven't seen too much lately, though. But
sure. But in terms of sort of when we've seen Liquid at tournament, I mean, when was the last time that they drafted Liquid Miracle Spectre in a pro game?
It's kind of interesting because like the way that they've drafted is like this Broodmother and Pugna, they're going to apply so much pressure. That's what they're
all
expecting.
The space is going to be there for Spectre.
All the space for Miracle to have the dream. Which you could end up having this game. Spectre versus IO, not a very fun matchup playing the IO versus that one.
I mean, it always is hard to sort of look at the drafts when there's Fnatic in the game because it always feels like Fnatic sort of shoot themselves in the foot, but then somehow they end up looking pretty impressive in the game. Yeah. And there are sort of those big, there's the Universe Enigma. Like this, he can do incredible things on this. So I think a lot of people are going to come into this matchup, say, first game of TI Liquid, look at this. It's a terrifying lineup. They have Pugna, they have Broodmother. They are looking to run Fnatic over, but it's Fnatic. They do surprising things. This looks like a 20-minute game, but you might as well add an extra 0 on there because it's Fnatic. This could be a 200-minute game as well.
It could go quite a long time. They have to be able to stall it so that the Enigma can get to the point of like the BKB and the Blink, because if you look at Liquid's draft, they don't have a way to stop the BKB Enigma. Sure, they can get maybe a Dominator on the Brood. I don't know if Matu does that build, get the the troll creep. I think 33 is one of the bigger players that does it.
Whenever I think of Matuma Man Broodmother, I just remember the game where he runs Butterfly.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's the Matu build. Just straight Butterfly. Oh, and the predictions are in. Let's go.
Oh, they close quickly.
All right. Shout out to Obs. Who have we got in the Obs?
Magic.
It's Wep, isn't it? Shout out to Wep.
This is definitely mind control, right? Magic or pure damage at the end?
I'm doing these predictions right now. Magic or pure damage. What's mind control playing?
Pugna.
Yeah, well, right. Players with the most kills at 10 minutes.
I'm putting Abed. Me. You can change it yourself.
Yeah, I'll go with Abed. And player with highest net worth by 25 minutes, Miracle.
I did Matu.
I'll go with Miracle. Okay. Total number of smoke gank kings kills at the end. I think it's going to be
5-8, whatever.
Okay, brilliant. Anyway, let's do it. So here we go. This is the first game. We're going to claim first game. I know there's 3 other games, in fact, which you can go and check out across the variety of streams. And, of course, there is the multicast stream as well, hosted up by our beautiful man, Alexander Richardson, who will be taking you through all of the games, which is going to be pretty crazy. But if you want to stick with particular ones, you can sit in with myself and Fogs and be safely in the comfort that we are going to just be sticking with these games through and through. So Liquid versus Fnatic. Very exciting drafts. We've got some different stuff already. It's TI. We are going to see a new meta evolved, and this could very much be the start of it. I am most intrigued by if we are going to see Gyro become a hero again, because there's, out of all the heroes, that feels like the hero that hasn't been a hero for the longest.
Hasn't been changed. Nothing got changed either.
Nothing got buffed.
There's a very early pick of the Gyro, and there's a lot of burst damage coming out. In Pugna alone already, is one of those heroes that playing Gyro, playing a lot of those edgy heroes, just doesn't feel so great.
Up there, top tier, so a bit of a bounty rune brawl, and Fnatic were able to make sure that they got the rune. DJ was able to pick it up. Now they're turning. In fact, Kuro has got to be careful. A few more right clicks and he could be done for. Pyliner goes in, tethered up by DJ as Fnatic get the first blood onto Kuroki.
So starting full aggro tri-lane, now they're going to switch away. DJ's going to port bottom. Alright, good way to punish the Crystal Maiden. Not the, of course, still a pretty strong hero if you're able to get your spams off, but if you collapse on top of Crystal Maiden at the first few levels, quick, easy kills. Okay. But yeah, very intrigued to see what the Gyro can do. And I'm going to be looking at this bottom lane. I think this is going to be pretty tough for Envy.
Oh yeah, the pressure's going to be on from Mind Control and GH, that is for sure. The spam, as you say, this very strong dual lane of Shaker Pugna. It's going to cause issues, and DJ has to be very careful with his positioning.
You have to make sure to not let them double up the creep waves too much on you in this bottom lane. So Envy, you see, he gets flak right away, but already double range creep coming in. My Control and GH already preparing to just throw that pressure out and make him last hit under tower. Make him just mess up those. That's CS. Alright, we see the aggressive glyphs coming out every time Matu has been walking up for a creep, trying to get like the spiders built up. Abed's been using that around.
Pylon doing some favourable training here with Kuro, and with that Brain Sap and Nightmare, keeping himself safe. He's able to salve up as well, walk off, make sure that he's got the sustain to stay in the lane. Mid lane matchup, 8 for 3 against the 2 for 0. A very nice lane so far here from Mr. Abed on his Tiny.
First few levels, Matu.
Hang on. Oh, a very nice lane here for Abed as he just gets a kill 1v1. Abed's turning up. Matuma Man, he hasn't had his breakfast, as it seems. He's got to wake up.
That right click looked like it did a lot of more than I thought it was going to. Actually brings down Matu. Okay.
Yeah, probably got the higher end of the roll on the right click.
That's that's really terrifying. Brood is a hero that, sure, first 2 levels, 3 levels, you're not the strongest. It's once you start getting like your level 4, your 5, you build up those fighters. But if a Tiny just starts running away with the lane, you can deal with the Brood. You can go hunt him, because you know Brood's going to go run to Ancients with the spiders, try to farm it. A Tiny just walks in there. You throw your tree and you pretty much kill all the spiders in one shot.
Well, as we can see as well, ladies and gentlemen, some new and exciting additions to the stream. As you may have already noticed at the top, we are going to be able to have that live experience difference indicator. As you can see just below the gold difference. Also on the side, as you can see, the number of viewers watching that have that team selected as their favorite team. So a lot of Liquid fans turning up. I'm a little surprised there's that. 12,000 of you have Liquid selected as your favorite team. Only 1,000 for Fnatic. And of course, if you want to add yourself to that number, it's all about just watching us and listening to us, of course, in-game. And whatever team you have set as your favorite team in your battle pass will give you add you to the numbers at the top. And of course, as we can see, there's one nice little count at the towers. If you can't count yourself, don't worry. We've got the numbers.
Wow, this early start for Fnatic's fantastic in this game.
Yeah. Right,
they're playing versus this Brood Pugna, which in theory they can get kind of run over, but the ways that they set up the lanes is perfect. Universe is getting a free time top because of this tri-rotation that they did at the beginning of the game, and Abed has actually just forced Matu out. Matu's just trying to build up spiders from the jungle before he can start walking bad in.
And sure, it's not an amazing lane for the Gyro, but Envy, he's still getting something out of it, as you say. This could be a lane that could absolutely play out 10 times worse. But Envy and DJ holding their own against the pressure of Mind Control and GH. Bit aggressive. Burst from Mind Control back out. They got the missile onto GH. They are going to look to give him a bit of a rundown with the pulls as well, slapping in from DJ. GH homing missile inbound. It's not going to be enough damage, and it looks like they'll actually turn their attention towards Mind Control. DJ has to back away, but there's the turn with the Fissure and the blast. He's in trouble, and can he survive? He has got the tether still from DJ, and it looks like he'll be fine. But no one to go down on that bottom lane.
This is actually pretty. I mean, I'm sure they first picked the IO, but it's a pretty cool solution to deal with this type of like the dual pressure that comes up from the Pugna. You can just, if you get hit by double blasts and whatnot, you can just use your sustain perfectly. And I mean, this mid lane is really going to be the big thing that really has to be the adjustment. How can Liquid adapt to deal with this Tiny, who's going to be level 6 already, having complete freedom?
Yeah, Matu, well, he should be able to keep it, despite sort of getting crushed at the earlier stages. He's, of course, got that Ancient camp that he'll constantly be going up and down to, keep himself on par and maybe even ahead. Because sure, we do see Abed with about a 50% lead on the last hits, but of course a lot of those will have been the spiders.
Yeah.
Up with the cleave.
But it's, I mean, it's the top lane too. Like the Spectre Crystal Maiden is a very weak lane. That is an abusable lane for sure. And Universe just keeps pulling it back, and then they have a Bane. So Enigma, who is maybe level was alone, or a weaker hero with the Enigma, you could punish. But
down bottom, kill opportunity potentially. GH does manage to get himself the bounty rune. They'll turn again the blast. As we're seeing it, as you say, it's a lot of damage, but they're not dying. Fnatic, they have that IO sustain. See what they've got up top. So look towards Miracle. The courier taken down there. Fnatic able to get the courier pick off.
Did it die to just a tree? Did it try the Tiny? Did Tiny throw a tree at it? I was looking on bottom.
I didn't quite catch it.
Because I know you can throw Tiny Tree at even flying couriers, and it does kill the courier. So, may have been hit by a cleave, or something along those lines. Universe now starting to back up. He looks like he's going to be... He just uses a Shrine for now, giving the Bane the levels in the lane. While bottom, DJ. Run down. There.
He's getting himself across. In fact, Envy's sort of in position to pick up the kill on Mind Control, and he gets it. DJ's going to be fine with the bottle. And now GH, he's in trouble as well. The Rocket Barrage bringing him down low. Envy and DJ looking to find him around the tree line. GH does get the passive stun onto Envy, but there's the tether across, cleaning the trees out of the way. GH does have the stick charge, but the ball slows there, and they'll pick up another. Envy with the double kill. And at the same time, mid indeed, Matuma Man in trouble. He's got the tree toss, won't be on target. Matuma Man will manage to keep himself safe, but 2k advantage now in terms of gold and experience. Bottom lane, Envy will go down. Mind Control's able to get himself back in the lane. Can he pick up a second? No, DJ with the tether, with the TP, he's out of there. He'll make it back safely. So Mind Control at least able to pick something back up as soon as he returns to the lane. Envy hanging around a little too low. But still, Fnatic, as you say, considering the drafts, it's what we say. It's a lot of the time. It's very hard to judge Fnatic from a draft because they do something different. They do something. They draft themselves into a position that you rarely see other teams do so, but they know how to play it.
The big thing really was the adjustment. They were just like, all right, we can now just move this Tiny mid versus the Brood and throw that Enigma top. And that's really what's just setting up their lanes to such success right now. And of course, that start, having DJ on the IO as well as Paladin the Bane starting up top to put the pressure onto Miracle. A fantastic start for Fnatic right now. So Liquid, they're going to have to really be playing around Mind Control. Once he gets 6, we're probably going to see that's the thing they focus around. But it's mostly just going to be GH and Kuro making the moves around the map to assist the lanes. Matu taking some pressure in the mid. Level 7 versus a level 9 Tiny.
Yeah, but absolutely crushed him.
Matu.
He nearly came back in and died.
He was just jungling. Abed threw the tree blind. He killed all the spiders too with that tree.
He's got to be careful.
He thinks now Matu probably expects there to be a ward there because that was a blind tree throw. You see him pinging it out right away, expecting something like that.
Smart stuff from Abed.
He knows what he's doing. He's been lingering in this area too, kind of just sapping experience, expecting Matu to be trying to do this.
GH checking out the bottom rune. Do have Abed on the high ground. GH could get cornered off. Indeed, Envy heading in with the missile rocket barrage. Abed's there with the wraparound. There's no escape for GH's Fnatic. Pick up another kill. Now 5-1. As Liquid. All 3 lanes not going to plan. That's for sure on top lane. Need to lead in with the Nightmare, getting in position. Universe surrounding Kuroki. Kuroki will try and retreat. He's got the stick charges. Will be fine. But every lane seems to be a bit of a danger zone now for Liquid because of the start that Fnatic have got.
Yep. Like we were saying, I think it's like playing around Mind Control is going to be the biggest thing. If not, they have to do double rotations. They have to start making dual moves with Kuroki as well as GH just to try to fix these lanes because it's getting to be a big problem right now. Fnatic have the wards. Alright, Pi does have 1 ward right now. He did place the deep one toward the shrine, but I'm assuming they're just going to be placing pretty invasive wards so that Abed can just run around and do his own thing in this game. Look at that, all the spiders.
Oh, it's beautiful. Just seeing Broodmother spiders die, it says something that we can all empathize with.
It's going to be such a quick blink dagger. And looking at Liquid's heroes, who's their beef guy, right? Who's the frontliner?
I mean, it's going to be the Spectre in about, what, 50 minutes?
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the thing at the moment.
This Tiny is going to be able to one-shot pretty much anybody on the map that he runs into, so they're going to have to adjust for that. They're going to have to get bracers, cloaks, and raindrops or something, and we do see Mind Control at least has that already. He's got the cloak, he's got the bracer, and the raindrop, so prepared for when Abed does get that early blink dagger.
This sub-universe getting some heavy pressure onto the tier 1 tower of Liquid at this 10-minute mark. Something that In terms of damage, they managed to do half the damage on the bottom half of the map, Liquid, but this top tower certainly looking to be in the worst place as Fnatic really...
Actually, I like that he went for the Dominator this game, because I know the rise of the Midas was starting to come back, but in this game he's going to be so good at pushing
look at this bottom. Arbed's coming in with a wraparound. GH trying for the TP out, but the Avalanche is there from Arbed, turning up at just the right time. Envy turns, holds his ground, slams GH in the face with a bullet. As Fnatic again, they're turning up. Game 1 of the international group stages for Fnatic. This first 10 minutes against Liquid. They've got to be feeling on a bit of a high right now. This is the way that you dream of starting your TI games.
I mean, especially when you're playing with a lineup with an IO too.
And
you're
against
getting
Liquid, last year's champions.
Yeah, like they have this IO who now you get your urn started, you start building up those urn charges, and you can just keep your heroes on the map. You keep that presence going, you keep that pressure going. So we thought maybe Liquid with this Brood, with this Pugna, they can apply the pressure. Fnatic has gotten the lanes perfectly already. Yeah, 4K advantage, everything.
Interesting to see that though, as you can see from the in-game win probability, it's still 49-51, very close between the two teams, obviously taking into account the previous games of both sides, I do believe, and of course sort of their win rates and such with specific heroes. So understandable that despite the fact that Liquid is behind, it's absolutely not over for them. We've seen Liquid, of course, many times come back from situations much worse than this one. As they're 4K behind, but they do have comeback heroes. You know, Spectre, good Haunt usage can certainly bring you back into the game very nicely.
Kuro just gets brought down by quick brain sap and a Malefice, just some right clicks as well. They're starting to get their ultis online. So Earthshaker 6, we've got Spectre, Haunt as well, but look at the levels. GH is higher level than Miracle right now. On the Shaker.
Top lane, high, does get slammed. GH ain't messing around. He sees the opportunity to double the team's kills and he'll go for it. Drops the slam. Arbed is there. Does actually manage to get the kill with the cleave hit there off the back of GH, bringing down Miracle. Arbed is going to be played around with a bit, but he's at a fantastic point at the moment. He is very tanky. There's no way that these heroes can deal with him as he runs in with the Tiny, slams down Kuro, crushing him with his fist.
They can't deal with Tiny unless Pugna's there. That's the only way they have the damage solution for him at the moment. I mean, it's 2,000 HP already with 8 armor. These heroes cannot pierce through that. Maybe once Matu starts getting these items finished up, which he's getting close now. He actually is about to finish up the Diffusal Blade, which is the new build that we've been seeing. It's like Medallion Diffusal, or you do the Medallion Orchid. Yep. See some Chinese players, I saw the Aquila thrown in sometimes.
Alright then guys, we're going to be jumping into another stream. We're going to be taking a little look at EG now, because they are looking all tied up. Sumail has been given plenty of ganks and is starting to keep things nice and level. So it's EG versus VGJ Thunder. It's going to jump into stream 3 right about now.
Shows like versus a hero that he...
Sumail will TP.
Yeah, he can just TP out, but Klink's actually TP'd in, and he's just... Yeah, making sure that jungle creep does not go to the Bloodseeker. That's
really
important.
Like the way Freeze is playing, though.
Yeah, he needs to play this way. They know this, that like what Alk does is gives the opponent mid laner a free game.
Oh, crit. Will take the damage. Will they chase him down? Looks like they want to. 2 more hits. Nope, they won't.
It's just not worth it.
So fast.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
That's the phase boots coming into play. This
Bottom
early on in the game.
Wyvern.
Troubled will go down.
And level 6 Phoenix at 9 minutes, so despite the rough start, he has Tranquils already, which is really important against the Bloodseeker. And he's already got his egg, so they might be able to make a move now, but how do they actually force a fight around the egg?
Look at this. Well, if VGJ comes middle, then this could fly. Is going to be showing up here. It looks like it's just Ursa as well as Klinks who aren't here. But they find one. It will be Weaver. Does he have an ultimate? He sure does. Doesn't even want to use it, though. They're just going to run back out. Alchemist stun flies, does a little bit of damage to Vengeful. Rupture will go out on Alchemist. Here comes the egg. DDC has to run. Yang dies on the right side. Weaver just has to run out here, and DDC dead.
Wow. And this happens every Alk game. At some point in the first like 12 minutes, there's a 5-on-5 because the opponent knows they need to make plays around mid, and then EG knows that the opponent knows that, and they're going to counterplay it.
That whole sequence, Wraith King is not level 6. Both EG supports are. The egg goes off. You're never winning a fight if the egg goes off. Whereas Wraith King, he dies first, but does it matter?
And they ruptured an ulted Alk, so that doesn't matter.
Oh, bottom lane.
Oh, top. They're gonna. Yeah, they took down Weaver. He went for the bounty rune. They had a sentry pre-planned with that smoke. That smoke was beautiful because they knew that VGJ Thunder has not been playing scared all game, and that they would be at the bounty runes at 10 minutes. They know how important the bounty runes are, and they predict his movement based on that. That Weaver should be unkillable, so that kill is huge.
And, you know, we're 10 minutes into game 1. Not too soon to backtrack. EG wins a team fight like that, all of a sudden,
hey, I got them.
There's a lot of pressure on Thunder now because they know they're on a bit of a clock. Eventually, the Alchemist will become problematic.
They have no way to deal with Alk, honestly. Like, once Alk gets like Shiva's Octarine Manta, like I know that sounds like a lot of items, but for Alchemist, it really doesn't take that long. And once he gets those items, I really don't think VGJ Thunder can deal with it.
They really wanted that move to work, but I point to this bottom lane. Like, if Wraith King just has his ult, then you make the move.
Yes.
You feel so much better in this game, and I fear VGJ may have tossed away, like, their chance in some ways.
Yeah, he's just being aggressive. They're going to force out the time lapse, which is important because they can only kill him when time lapse is on cooldown right now. The only point they can kill him before that is with Blink on Alk or Basher on Ursa.
And that's, I mean, that's a long cool. Wraith King just used his 200-second cooldown very early, right after he picks it up.
Yeah,
so
but they are rotating with the smoke on this pressured tower. The nice thing about Wraith King nowadays is he can pressure towers. They have dust.
Yep, he will be going down here more than likely. They want to give it to Freeze, I assume, and he will get it.
Look at the tower off this too. This is nice for VGJ. That's a kill they needed to make happen as well. Arteezy's had far too good of a game.
Do you think
Phoenix is already level 8?
Should players focus more on who gets the tower? Do you think like getting the last hit is important? I thought it was, but
more
no one
gold
does.
if you have an individual last hit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, the teammates don't get anything extra. It's just a pure 200 gold extra to the person that last hits.
Which
is like 6 creeps.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
It just feels like teams still don't, look at that as much. Some do.
The thing is, usually when you're pushing, though, you're under threat, so you're thinking about a lot of other things.
And when am I going to go in?
Bro, Sumail had 600 gold at 8 minutes. He has a relic at 12.
Yeah, he's #1 net worth by 1,300 already. Obviously expected on an Alk, but this is something where Freeze had absolute free farm on the in the lane, and it's already showing in the net worth.
Oh, Fly barely gets out of there. Rupture was going to come out. He was just going to fly to his death if he gets ruptured there. And it looks like they will try to take middle tower, but Glyph is there. Freeze. Ulti goes. Is he going to swap him? Arteezy gets a kill on Yang. Elsewhere on the map, Freeze will get away, but you just ruptured a Crystal Main. He's fine. DDC going to get run down by this beam. Oh my goodness, the percentage-based damage, but he swaps him. This should be a kill, no? Fly will just get away, and that's 2 kills quickly. One for Sumail, one for Arteezy.
And S4 is just farming Blink.
Guys.
Yeah, S4 is just farming Blink.
You get 90 GPM talent at level 10. This is like the hero to get a head start in levels on.
Wow.
That's why his picture's the Phoenix.
And I love Arteezy's, not only his skill build that you mentioned, but his item build, just going for the medallion to enable his teammates. So much physical damage, as you already mentioned. The Alk stun is physical, so all of their mid-game damage, other than like the egg combo, is physical. And so Ursa with his early Blink Dagger, he has the money, hasn't purchased it yet though.
Doesn't need to.
Not really the hero you can look to kill. Phase Boots on Wyvern.
Dude, I don't even want to look at my phone. I'm sure I already have text from Bulba. You got in my draft, man? What are you doing? You know anything.
Alchemist has the Radiance finished, so they can look to make a move. They do have a ward on him, though, from VGJ.
And they're looking.
This is their 3rd smoke, right?
Yeah, they know they have to speed up the pace of this game.
You barely said a BSJ, but maybe Kyle can expand. Why Phase Boots on a Winter Wyvern? You know.
Let me see how this plays out. 1 second. Okay. I'm honestly... I'm not really sure. I would imagine just positional tool. I prefer the Arcane or Tranquil Soul Ring spam, but he has no ult, right?
Yeah, they can turn this into a Roche right away if they want to.
Yeah, they can.
The Alchemist can tank it? I feel like they have to. Oh, they're going to look for the Wyvern first. Yeah, they have a ward on him.
Blink Dagger in 3. I think they're waiting for the Ursa Blink, but he's going to fly up the correct way. Nice job by Fade, and
they can chase him. Force him to use his ultimate. He doesn't actually have mana. He has Soul Ring.
Willie Soul Ring ulti, BSJ?
I love this play. Force.
No, he's out. Yeah, I mean, he's going to... I mean, he's drawing them away from the Roche pit, and they know they can't Roche if he's around.
Exactly. It's very disciplined from EG. It looks like they're wasting time, but you cannot go into the pit with a Wyvern hovering around. You need to make this move.
That's how you throw this game that you're up by 3K.
There we go.
But now they possess enemy jungle. This is fine. Like, they're not the ones on the clock. VGJ are going to naturally just continue to pressure. They're going to TP up here. Double TP. They're 5-on-5 now.
They have double damage.
And EG has a ward on this, so they know they're all there.
Yeah, Bloodseeker.
This is so smart from EG. In the meantime, Crystal Maiden is rotating down to bottom. He's going to grab the bounty runes for free.
Yeah,
this is a 3
huge.
bounty
With an Alchemist, that's even more important.
They got 3 at 5 and 10, so they've gotten 3 every time. But look at this, S4, he's going to die. Yep, there's the phase boot damage coming out. Weaver with the Maelstrom doing a ton. DDC! Oh my goodness.
That Ursa damage is nuts. But they're not going to get anything off that. There's no tower there. There's no, like, they can't go into Roche. Mid lane's getting pushed by Arteezy. Bottom lane's getting pushed by a position 5 Crystal Maiden.
That's a very underrated sequence of events. It looks like EG didn't do anything, but they bought 2 minutes of time. That gold advantage was 2K, now it's 5.
Yeah.
And that's literally just because they threaten Roche, force the Wyvern in the area, force him out, and then immediately retreat once those TPs come in. The TP cooldown, 80 seconds, like all of a sudden, you just go to the other side of the map.
Yeah, you have a 5-position Crystal Maiden that's allowed to hit creeps, and while the Alchemist is farming neutrals where he wants to be, he actually is one of the few heroes in the game that gains more gold out of being in the jungle than he does lanes.
So VGJ, they've got reasonably mobile cores in Bloodseeker and Weaver. What do you want to do with them? Do you want to try to get kills? Can they?
They have to keep trying to get kills, but they have all these BKBs, like the BKB being worked on by the Bloodseeker, the Weaver, like just starting his now. They have some serious damage issues for a hero like Alchemist. They don't have burst damage, so it's only going to get worse. They have to look for the timings.
Go now.
Yeah, but I mean, they need their BKBs.
Oh, middle. Yang is just gonna get melted down, still alive though. Ooh, ulti gonna get popped. Will he have time? Is he gonna be silenced? Will he get ulti off? Doesn't look like he will. Yes, he will. So he's gonna tank it up a little. They pop the ulti of Wraith King on the back. Crit dies. Arteezy tries to get DDC, gets put under the egg. Oh my goodness. It is gonna do so much work, but it blows up. He doesn't get the attack slow on a bunch of field, but Arteezy cleaning up on the backside. And look at this. Alchemist just running at him with the Radiance.
The buyback, I like it.
Will there be a kill? Look at, he's waiting for him. He's just going to throw the stun, and Arteezy is just going to blow him up. Oh my goodness, Bleak's on the backside. Sumail styling on him, but Sylar, if he can get this kill, it's going to be all about Sylar. Do you just back out here?
Defensive medallion.
Oh.
He has Blink in 5 seconds.
Is he going to go for it? This dude's nuts.
It's like the same time as the stun. Blink first. He still might be dead. That medallion might save his ass, though.
Now Weaver's coming in. One Maelstrom hit should be a guaranteed kill, but Yang will go down. Oh my goodness.
He dodges the projectile stun of the Wraith King with that max strafe.
I didn't even think about that. They have Venge and Wraith King as their primary sources of stun, and he just has his Q to dodge it. That's insane.
Was that a 6-for-4? No, it was a 5-for-4 with 2 deaths on the Venge, right?
Yeah.
So pretty even fight.
That looked really good for VGJ.
I thought it was.
And then suddenly, like, even with the buyback, I mean, we mentioned the Alchemist is hard to deal with. It's only going to get worse.
Oh, look at this.
It's one of those brutal heroes, much like pre-nerf Medusa, where you invest so much to try and kill him, and if you don't, you're all going to die. Yeah, it's very much an all-or-nothing play.
They slowly but surely kill you over the course of the fight. So if you don't bring them down, like you said, you're all like half health or lower, and they just finish you off. And having heroes like Ursa and Clinks, these like skirmish type heroes, go really well with Alk.
What killed the egg so fast? Because I saw he got his Fire Spirits off on a couple heroes. Yeah, it was just time lapse.
Just the Weaver, the Weaver double hit.
Yeah,
it was a great play though. He got Spirits off on 3 heroes, but the Weaver immediately just time lapse. But he did so much damage. Yeah.
He makes you focus, right?
Yeah, and you made him time-lapse just to kill the egg, which is a big deal. He ended up dying later for that.
So this DDC, I mean, he's known for being very poor in game. After a dieback at 18 minutes, I don't think we're going to see much from him.
Arteezy has the BKB done on Clinks. That's huge for them. Like, that makes him, once he has his ultimate activated, which is 1,800 health, BKB, how do they kill him?
Can you click through EG's items? So far, I love everything they've gone. I like the Blink after Radiance because they needed that. He's the stun, right? I let him go in. I like Arteezy just accelerating with the Aquila medallion. The
Tranquil urns. If you're you're gonna buy it.
And with the Crystal Maiden, you don't need that Soul Ring on Clinks, which is really nice.
He's got a drum and a glimmer soon.
Sounds good to me. Just cheap, efficient items to just carry them through the mid game.
They do have the Blink Dagger on Wraith King though, so that gives them some sort of initiation on the side of VGJ. It just looks grim because it looks like the whole game is on EG's pace. They get to choose their next objective is almost certainly Roche. They're going to play around the mid tier 2 and Roche as their main objectives. Wyvern defending top like you expect, but they know if they just let this keep happening, the net worth lead for EG is going to grow. So VGJ says, we can't let this keep going. Does Bloodseeker have BKB? He does not. But this just shows the level of urgency that they have. They're not even waiting for their timings.
They're going to find one, though. It's going to be a smoke for Fly, but a kill is a kill.
But what does that do for them?
Yeah. Well, it guarantees at least Radiant won't go for Roche, right? You buy a little more time for out Roche.
But they didn't, EG didn't use anything there. They're just...
Hi guys, welcome back. So just to quickly get everything outlined, we'll be bringing you all of the action here at the multicast. You can still, however, watch any game you want at its entirety with your casters non-stop and get rid of my ugly mug if you want to. All 4 streams are available. You can watch your favorite teams play at full length if you desire. But if you want to keep track of all the action and all of the group stages, you're in the right place. We're going to be pulling you along throughout all of the streams for the very best bits and keeping track of the action. For example, I think we're actually going to be going into Liquid versus Fnatic next, as it does seem like Fnatic's lead is starting to dwindle and Liquid are forging a comeback. Let's jump in with your casters, and I'll be right back.
To the Spectre.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Spectre's always going to be that scary beast. If it gets to that late game, your supports just suffer. Radiant's Manta, if you get to that point, the game's going to be very difficult for Fnatic.
Tower for Liquid. Mid lane Arbed, keeping the lanes pressured in. Again, as we can see, the probability a while ago did go up to 65% for Fnatic, but now it's pretty much back even. And if anything, starting to shift in the general direction of favoring Liquid as the game goes on.
So we've got the BKB Satanic first 2 items on NB. As we've mentioned, he has the Aghanims bonus from the IO, so he just feels like surviving is the most important thing. He just wants to be in that front line.
But very close to having his BKB too. So they will have these big items on the cores that, as we say, could indicate that they want to start speeding things up a little bit.
Yeah, it could be go time soon.
Yeah,
on
Fnatic, I mean, Universe has got with his BKB done.
And I think did Abed switch? He's going for Silver Edge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he just wants to be able to break the Spectre.
Kill the Spec.
Yeah, be pretty decent versus Brood as well. So.
Yeah, 3k gold towards the relic. It's just getting close.
Look at Matu, what he's been doing with the Brood. If you see on the minimap, you see tons of little brown dots. He's actually been spreading his spiders all across, trying to scout information whenever they do split up. And he's just sitting in the tree lines while doing this too. He's just like in a place where they can't kill him. He's like near the Ancients kind of with his spiders, just making sure that he's giving all the info. While you see the other 3 on Liquid, they're all sitting behind the most important person in the game for them, the Spectre. Now he's gonna go join them. He was kind of spazzing out in the trees there for a second.
He was chilling. So who's gonna find who first? Pi will manage to get the D ward.
He comes out of smoke as well too, so they're like, yeah. And Fnatic smoked up top. And Miracle during all this has gotten.
He's gonna have the relic.
Yeah.
That sort of window that can be the hard one to get through if the pressure's up. And at a point of this game, it really was up against Liquid. They were not coming out of the lanes as planned. And now, their Spectre getting back into it, has the gold for the relic.
And they still are kind of sitting in this like zone around him. You see either like Kuroki and GH sitting behind him, or even 3 heroes sitting behind him. Just, yeah, we know how important that Spectre Radiance is, that timing. Even though it's coming out late, it's going to be that important for them anyway. And now it's just lots of survivability items, it looks like, on Liquid. It looks like My Control's queued up the Aeon Disc, Kuroki's queued up the Aeon Disc, GH a Yule Scepter. So ways to make sure that they can prolong themselves in the fight. Get more spells off so that the Spectre and the Broodmother can do their job. Pie's still trying to be this, ward monster. He's just trying to make sure that they can keep their control of this vision here that he just placed. While Liquid, you saw them all playing around the bottom and right side, so that's also where they have the vision.
He's got to be careful. He's got the glimmer. Especially Arbed, did at least, I guess, the advantage of Liquid did actually pop the double damage out of his bottle as soon as he saw the CM. So might not be able to get opportune use with it. Unless Fnatic can find a fight, but as expected, Liquid playing safe, sitting up inside their base behind Miracle.
Any unexpected talents we've seen? I think all the ones that I've seen are pretty much the standards. I don't think anything was outside the box. No, looks pretty standard to me. I've been seeing the Spectre one, the dagger cooldown being the people have been taking that one pretty much every time now that I've seen it in pubs instead of the 8 stats.
Walks up. Good for the setup, but GH indeed sat behind Miracle's there with the fish to back him up. Has the ability to cancel the Fiend's Grip from Pi. Allow Miracle to walk off. Arbed decided to get a 3-man avalanche indeed, and that'll be enough for them to clean up GH. Miracle. Stand up up by the missile. They're jumping in. Universe has got the Midnight Pulse. He's committing. He's got the BKB Black Hole to hold Miracle in place. No hesitation there from Universe. Sees the chance.
Fnatic Liquid still going on, and just for a moment to keep you in the loop, on stream 3, EG are currently pushing high ground versus none other than VGJ.
He is taking a ton of damage. He has the Aegis.
Close.
No ult
when he comes back. Closing his first one out.
He does not have Blink right away to get out. BKB's getting popped. They try to cancel. It wasn't there. He Manta dodges out. We are going to see a rupture. Sumail is going to take a ton of damage on the backside, though. DDC will go down. Ulti from Crit doing a ton of damage. Has to get out of the silence, though. Freeze. Get a BKB to get egg. Should go down. Barely does. But look at this. They will get the Weaver. And that's the problem, right? You have Arteezy and Sumail farmed.
Yeah, Sumail already bought back, so he's coming right back to the fight before these heroes respawn.
Yeah,
but for now, we're going to head back over to Liquid versus Fnatic. Of course, all that action was going down on stream 3.
As you say, you have Fnatic, despite those kills, hard for them to take any sort of further objective.
The Radiance is almost up for Miracle. It's about 600 away.
Fnatic, can they stop Liquid getting?
They know the Black Hole's down, right? They know Fiend's Grip as well as Black Hole were used. I believe they know that the Relocate was used as well. That's going to be coming up soon, but the big one is, of course, Universe's Black Hole.
They do still have ways to sort of bully them out a bit, but it is going to be hard, especially when they're taking it down as quick as they are. There's the cooldown from Envy. They'll chuck at a tree as well. Find the connection. For Fnatic, can they actually get in there? There's the Fisher from GH blocking Envy out of the pit. And Universe will jump in, but the Aegis has already been picked up as Universe will fall to his death. And Fnatic, they just have to get out of there. They were unable to fight around that pit as Miracle in with the horn, ready to chase down for more. Gets that Spectral Dagger slow onto Envy. Slam is down from GH as he catches both Envy and DJ off guard. DJ to fall. Frostbite on Envy holds him in place. That's a triple kill for Matuma as Fnatic starting to crumble. They had this lead, but it's now slipping away, a distant memory. Matuma now top of the net worth, and Miracle Spectre each and every team fight climbing back ahead as he does now have that Radiance online, so the fights are not going to get any easier for Fnatic.
He was trying to kind of bait them in there too. You saw him sitting at 400 HP, but with the cheese, he's just like, I hope they turn for me. They did, yeah. He instantly pops it.
It's such an awkward position, you say, for Fnatic, because they feel like you have to do something about this, but how do they?
I mean, they don't have Black Hole, right? And this Fissure by GH, it doesn't even connect, but it did the job, right? You see, it blocks the path, and Envy's like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds of his BKB there, and then they're able to re-engage on him afterwards.
Abed, he's tried to jump in onto mind control. He will manage to take down one. Can he get Kuro? No, Kuro challenging the ult. Can they kill Abed in time? They can! They'll get him. Kuro will fall as GH sits on his head as he gets tossed upon him. Universe tries for the BKB TP out, but the damage from Matuma is too high. Again, Liquid short. Fnatic got a couple of pickoffs, but it's another exchange that's favoring Liquid.
Yeah, and Matu. How did Matu start this game? 0-2, right? 9-2-4 now on this Broodmother. An incredible recovery, top of the net worth after everything that has played forward.
Now the question is, how well can Fnatic hold high ground? Pretty well.
Pretty strong. Just depends on if they lose.
Gyro, I mean, with the tree throw,
it is
always pretty much cleans up a creep wave.
It's a good amount of pressure on Universe with his Black Holes, though, because you can see as soon as Black Hole's down, Liquid feels an immense amount of power coming through.
I don't know how that stat works. Apparently Brood is banned against Liquid 188% of the time, which is understandable because Matuma pretty good, but I'm not quite sure if it's mathematically possible. But if there was a team that you're going to find a way to draft Brood, ban Brood against them more times than even possible, Liquid would certainly be the one, but as we saw, they got it through here, and not really to sort of Fnatic's mistakes in the draft. This was an early Brood pick, wasn't it?
It was the third pick.
Third pick Brood, straight up. And it short at the start, Fnatic did have the edge. They were able to get the lanes to sort of make sure that Matuma start the game was slow, but Matuma being Matuma was always going to have a very strong chance of coming back into the game as he has done here.
It's really just been these Roshans, right? The Roshans is really the big comeback for Liquid. Fnatic tried to do that neat little relocate play bottom on the first one. It delays their Roshan a bit for Liquid to get there in time. So now Liquid still with this Aegis, playing very confidently, having 4 heroes just perched around the Broodmother as Miracle just farms in the backlines with Haunt available. And this is the, we're getting close to that item timing that we were saying for the Spectre that is absolutely terrifying. If he gets this, I mean, the Manta's going to make everything so much harder for them to deal with. Just that extra damage, just more confusion inside the fights.
What is the plan for Fnatic? It really feels like they have to make this team fight work with the Black Hole and the Jara, which they just haven't really had the chance to do so.
I think a really big, important thing for Fnatic is just going to be making sure that they have at least a vision advantage going into these fights somehow versus Spectre. They want to know where people are positioned, and that's why I feel like Pi bought a gem, because like the map control is going to start to get more and more important to make sure they can get these pickoffs whenever Liquid is split up, whenever they're doing this 4-on-4-and-1.
Radiant did scan down bottom, so they know that Miracle's hiding in the trees. Miracle is going to start to play around with Arbed, though. Arbed has got the shadow. He will be able to keep himself hidden. Miracle popping himself out of there with the horn. In fact, was the mid, the pressure being put on now as Matumbaman walked himself up to the barracks. With that horn, Miracle was able to pick off Pylai Die.
That was Glyph used, and they took out the tier 3, and they got a kill out of that horn. And still having Aegis. Now they can put on some more map pressure. They got a Shrine, because that tier 3's been taken. Some more economy for them, and they've already accrued a 6k advantage. It's quickly climbing, while Fnatic is kind of stuck in their base, as Liquid does whatever they want on the map.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack. Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
I mean, this is, as we said, at the start of the game, it was like, oh, Liquid looking a bit rocky, but then Liquid were like, hey, hold on, guys. You know, we'll wait until we're sort of 20 minutes down the line, because this is back to being pretty much the Liquid you expect to see. Turning up a TI, it doesn't matter how far behind they are at the start, they'll find a way to get back in. And Black Hole will be dropped onto Matumbaman. Can they actually kill him off, though? He's still got the BKB, he's trying to retreat. Arbed is going to get caught up by GH jumping in with the Echo Slam onto Arbed. Matumbaman managing to keep himself alive. They're looking to toy around with Arbed, but the homing missile and Tritos will actually get Matumbaman finally killed off. Arbed does get bursted down by the Nether Ward there as he tried to cast a spell.
It's a buyback from Matumbaman. They know the Enigma Black Hole's down. I guess they just want to try to push forward.
GH, Fisher, onto DJ, Miracle, looking to dive in aggressively. He's got that Radiance. It's enough to kill off DJ. DJ keeping the distance. Another dagger flies through, and DJ will be popped. Fnatic just getting pulled apart.
Arcane Rune Spectre. Just, you know, a 4-second cooldown on the dagger, so he's pretty much 500 movement speed running at this IO nonstop.
And it feels like this game may be borderline over. Liquid.
That was with the Aegis timed out as he got Black Holed as well. So it was a pretty unfortunate time for Liquid, but either way they were able to sustain it. Yeah, we're just seeing the power.
I mean, this is really Liquid sending a message. It's like, look, we can pick third pick Brood. You can counter us. You can win the lanes. You can get 10k advantage in the first 15 minutes, but then we'll come back and we'll win the game. And they've got the horn. They're going in. Universe popping the BKB. Pylai getting focused down by Miracle. Pylai is gone. Envy having to retreat. Arbed is going to jump in with the combo onto Miracle. Is it enough to bring Miracle down, though? He's got the dagger to get back out of the base. The homing missile still chasing him down. Matumbaman will fall. So he is down for 2 minutes. Miracle does get stunned up on the side. Kuro comes in with a frostbite onto Arbed, but now Kuro himself in trouble. As the homing missile's inbound, Fnatic looking to chase down and take another off Liquid.
Relocate top.
They're going straight in.
They're going?
They're going for the push. The Miracle will buy back instantly as soon as he sees that play come in. As his buyback will force them back, but Fnatic certainly showing us that they do still have signs of life, the classic signs of Fnatic life as well. They're now behind. You know, this is where they're ready to play.
Yeah.
So, if anything, this is just setting out to be the game that we could have hoped to start TI with. We're seeing it all. We're seeing Fnatic win lanes. We're seeing them throw games. We're seeing them bring back the games into their favor. Slightly. It's still a lead for Liquid, but it could go that way if we see some other sort of crazy IO plays. And I mean, we know that IO in DJ's hands, it's terrible. We've seen it already this game. But when it comes into sort of late game plays, late game calls like that, to go for the split for the rat, Fnatic, they've got it down to a T. And Liquid have to be careful about these plays sort of outmaneuvering them.
And they have to be careful right now. This is their time that they can, I mean, not really lose a game, but lose at least a barracks, because there's no proof for 40.
Yeah, it's dead for 40 seconds.
Mind control, protecting his nether ward as best as possible. And the daggers begin. So they will get a range Rax, Envy. Trying to continue forward.
Yeah, he's trying to block off the team with the Fisher. Universe goes in with the BKB. Black Hole onto the illusion. He doesn't get it at all, as he's got to retreat now. Miracle's there, ready to lead in. There's the jump in from GH with the slam. That's going to be Universe on the relocate. DJ saving Envy just in time. But Miracle's there to chase down, of course, with the horn. Will still pick up DJ. Envy does get himself back to base. Arbet being chased. There's a missile onto Miracle. Arbet sort of eyeing up the chance of going back in, but no, he heads up to the high ground. But they know, they see him. They've got the Fisher play from GH. Arbet nearly gets Miracle. Miracle's got to be careful, but he's keeping himself off the side. The toss, the avalanche, the missile. Miracle nearly getting himself the satire. Doesn't quite do it as he has single Imicate. Miracle will live. They do kill off Arbet.
We're going to be sticking around with the Fnatic Liquid action, but just a quick replay for you. Over on another stream, was stream 2, I believe, we got to see action with LGD in their final higher ground push versus OG.
Warlock, so much damage on the node. Laguna from Somnus will get the kill, and they're looking for a little bit more. The stun will connect onto the Weaver, a swap away. He needs time to time-lapse. Actually, no, he'll just run back into base. Toxic can come back to the world of the living, but how much has he really got? He's not even level 15. He doesn't even have that second Arcane Bolt available or the seal, and they realize if they call it GG, the nukage doesn't work, the cores don't work, and LGD have an answer to absolutely...
So LGD 1-0 up in that series. We'll be checking back in once they get into the draft, but for now, back into the Fnatic Liquid slog as we reach the 40th minute.
We'll have, as we say, DJ back with him in 20. That is a second set of racks cleaned up by Liquid.
And this is a double siege creep wave coming in for Liquid too. Perfect timing for them as they're pushing this. This is the last one. I don't think Fnatic can hold this.
Well, they are going to be able to take GH out straight away. GH, of course, will buy back immediately. The Tumberman with the BKB trying to come in onto the racks, but now he's backing off. The BKB starting to wear off. He's got the move speed of the webs. The slow from the ball's not quite enough to hold him back, as they will back off, but at the same time, this is Fnatic pushing Liquid away from Fnatic's final set of racks. So they do keep that last lane alive.
It's important to do that at least. They prolong it, right? You want Envy to get that rapier.
Can they contest Roche, though? As we say, it's another bit of time where they do not have the black hole. They don't have the black hole, though.
You can't give like Aegis.
They don't have the BKB on Envy.
Yeah,
still down for 30 seconds. He's trying to go in. The Horde's going to be popped immediately. The Frostbite, the Zap, the Life Drain onto Envy. He needs help, but he needs it now, but there can't be any help because DJ gets controlled on the side. He couldn't get in with the save. So that's going to be Envy dead. He buys back straight away. Pylai die as well. They're going to get back into the game. Arbet with the BKB and the damage. Is it enough for the Spectre to go down? It isn't, as he's going to be fine. Miracle gets himself down to the low ground and out of harm's way as Liquid keep control around the pit. Another attempt to fight around there where they didn't quite have the black hole. They do now have the black hole back up, and in fact, Roshan still at about half health.
Universe has to heal though. He's back at base.
He's got that black hole. If he can get there,
he can get in there. DJ's dead for 50.
He's TPing over. Did walk back to base, so he's still at the TP available. Liquid know though. They're up on the high ground. They know that the black hole is back up.
They're playing it patient. They're letting Miracle run around, pick up items. He's got the heart now finished, so there comes the regen.
Yeah. The Dagon being scaled up as well.
Yeah. They're playing it patient. They know that Fnatic's the ones really under the gun here to make sure that Liquid doesn't get the rush. While Liquid, they know they're so comfortable in this game now. Let the action come to them. They have to, they've got Haunt in 50 seconds. If they really want it, they can wait that whole time while Miracle just walks around farming the map. Because Fnatic, they don't take the rush fast enough, even if it's low. And their base also continuing to get pressured. Those two waves, those two side lane, or the mid lane as well as the side lane bottom, pushing in, keeping it going. How long on Haunt? 28 seconds.
Middle tower is under attack.
And Envy now that rapier has become a pipe dream after having to buy back. So the smoke comes out. They're going to try to take advantage of Spectre Haunt being down for a few seconds,
and Envy doesn't have flak for 25 seconds.
Yeah.
So he's fighting without flak here.
And Miracle just starts running in. He knows Haunt's coming back up. He's got a heart. Like, he's got no fear walking into all this right now.
And the base, they're losing tier 4s here. The creeps.
Yep.
Radiant's middle tower.
There's a ping going to come out from Pylai Die.
And now Liquid's ready to go in the pit. They've got Haunt ready, and look where Miracle's positioned himself, just completing the front line still.
Like, for you, how do you find the black hole? It's going to be so hard. They are fairly grouped up though now. Get himself as he doesn't. They'll get it. They'll jump in now. Does manage to get the two-man black hole there, and with that control, they'll be able to burst down Miracle. Miracle does not have buyback. He has. It's still on cooldown for a minute and 40 seconds, so short Liquid. They got the Roshan. Matuma Man was able to get the Aegis Cheese and Refresher, but they're actually going GH gets the slam. He's able to kill one, but he's going to lose his life for that. Now they're 2 heroes dead, 100 seconds. They may have got the Roche, but Liquid, they're 2 people down for 100. They do not have buyback.
They're going to go run to the base,
Fnatic
though.
could just go.
Yeah, they're going to run to the base, though, here. The tier 4 is down to 100.
So My Control's going to try for the split.
Yeah, My Control's going to try to split it off here. Matumba has Boots of Travels as well. But this is very concerning here. Envy, he's just running in.
He is.
Uh-oh.
They're just going for the tier 4s. Matumba man, looking towards Abed. Abed actually taking a lot of... Abed's dead.
My God.
Yeah, Envy. He's in trouble as well. He's been Degrappified, life drain. He'll turn towards Matumba man. DJ getting focused down by the spider. They've got the Degrappify, the burst damage, and okay.
All right.
This is what...
Well, Matumba man's still pretty scary even on his own, throwing just a couple spells from the back.
All right,
so
yeah, another next level play from Liquid's like, we'll let GH start. We'll let Miracle die for 100 seconds. They're going to go straight for the tier 4s, and then we're just going to send a spider at them. And it's all going to be okay. And it actually looks like it should be. I mean, Universe, when's the Black Hole back up? Not for some time. I know he has
80 seconds.
He has, of course, no, he's not quite got the Octarine. He didn't quite finish it off, so he hasn't got that reduced cooldown. And Envy's got no buyback. There's still no Spectres. Miracle's down for 35 seconds, but it's going to still leave that 50-second window where they are without a gyrocopter.
It's pretty absurd how hard Broodmother hits at level 25.
Yeah.
That talent. 200% lifesteal, 200 bonus damage.
You're not killing him. If you can't kite him or keep him off you, any right click you get, bam, he is gone.
Like, look at this. Watch how fast he turns. Like, Abed hasn't built any armor items this game, so he is a bit low on the armor. So versus that AC, look how quick he chunks him down. Look at the damage on the spider. Just quickly runs right through them.
I've just noticed we got a new stat as well. You see that, folks? We've got APM. We're StarCraft now, boys.
I didn't even see that.
Look at that. APM of Universe, only 150. Oh, there we go. GH's APM, 250. Who's got the best APM?
Wait, where do you see that? Am I blind?
Look, just above the talents.
Oh, I do see it. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
we've got an APM counter, boys. Who's got the best APM? Is it? Oh, only 148 on the Brood. That's pretty low. Oh, Matumba.
247 on Abed.
Wait, how has he got so much more APM than the Brood?
It's clicking. He's just clicking a lot more. Some people just click a lot.
I see.
If you click in between movements, that all counts. Every little action, right?
If you
click stop spam.
Are you saying that's... I like that.
I like that.
I like more numbers.
I always like APM. APM is always... Oh, Kuro.
Oh, only 87. Someone get that man an auto-clicker. He needs to click a bit faster.
Another Arcane Rune for Miracle this time around. So that 4-second dagger cooldown. And he's also got the Refresher Shard now, too.
Yeah.
Very
but
scary.
I mean, they didn't get the racks. They didn't get the racks.
They didn't get the racks, but they have a 20k gold advantage.
Kuro with that heart, beautiful.
Oh, Kuro, that was Kuro's heart.
That's Kuro's heart, my friend.
I did see it on the courier, but I didn't think it was his.
I mean, yeah, with a freezing field, if he sits there and lets it go, it's going to be hard to stop him from letting it go. And there's a refresher shot still on GH. Ooh, that's a nice...
Oh, they gave it to GH. Okay, I thought they were just going to keep it on Miracle.
It's a 92% win rate. Sorry, win probability for look. I feel like I would actually give Fnatic more than the 8% because it's Fnatic. You know what I mean? They do crazy stuff.
The scary thing
they're very far behind in this game.
They're so reliant on Universe getting like a 2 or 3 or more here on Black Hole. But they have buybacks, they have Aegis, they have Cheese now at this point coming back up, right?
Oh, this could be the downfall though. I see Envy. Did
he switch it?
He switched the rapier out as quick. Come on, Envy. You know you need the rapier. I mean, sure.
He might be getting to the
point. Is very good against the spiders.
And against the Mega Creeps, once they're inevitably probably going to get against Megas, right?
Yeah. And of course, yeah, with the Ag's tether bonus from the IO. But it's not a rapier. Come on.
It's not a rapier. We wanted it.
It's alright. As I said, this game's going to be either 20 minutes or 200 minutes. We're going to get to the point where he has a rapier, I'm sure. I mean, there's been lots of times where it felt like this game was going to be over and it just hasn't been.
This is one of those, like, the third Roche is usually one of those big ones, though, right? It's like you get the double slam, you get the Aegis Cheese, and you get most people are starting to hit the level 25s, getting their buybacks. So you look at Miracle, he's been farming a bit, not for an item. It looks like he's just farming for buyback.
I mean,
so he can buy back Haunt if he just runs in.
I was going to say, I think it's sort of you were saying, sure, GH is the flashy player.
So from one to another, we're going to be checking in now with Game 3, and we can see EGR once again pushing in towards the high ground. We'll jump into that one as they continue their adventure to try and find their first win of TI8.
There's just a lot. It's hard to know when kills are happening and when they're not.
It's okay.
But they're happening.
Yeah,